Hello and a very warm welcome to latest case analysis series by Law Seco. This is Monica Rahar, and for today's discussion, we have taken up a Supreme Court decision which is dated November 6, 2020. The name of the case is Shruti Kaushal Bisht versus Kaushal R. Bisht. It is a single judge bench decision of the Honorable Supreme Court, and the bench consisted of Honorable Justice V. Ramasubramanian. Now let's proceed and have an understanding of the issue of law. So the court was to decide whether the petition, which is whether the power of transfer, which is available with the court under Section 21, capital A of the Hindu Marriage Act, can be invoked when subsequent petition is for restitution of conjugal rights. Now let's proceed first and understand the provisions provided for under Section 21, capital A. So it provides for power to transfer petitions in certain cases. Subsection 1 is where petition under this act presented to district court by one party to a marriage praying for a decree for judicial separation under section 10 or for divorce under section 13, and another petition presented by other party to the marriage for a decree under section 10, which is for judicial separation, or under section 13, which is for divorce, whether in same or different district courts situated whether in the same state or in different states, the petition shall be dealt with by procedure which is specified under subsection 2. Now, if I'm to explain the provision of subsection 1 simply, it would mean, let's say a husband preferred a divorce petition in district court A, and the petition which was filed by the husband, it was filed prior, and subsequently the wife files another petition, be it for judicial separation or for divorce, either in the same district court or in another district court in the same state as of that of the husband, or in another district court which is situated in different state. So in such a scenario, what is to be done? So that procedure is specified under subsection 2, and subsection 2 provides that in a case where subsection 1 applies, if petitions are presented in the same district court, both shall be tried and heard together by that district court. So, this is a simple scenario. If both are in the same district court, then they'll be tried together by the same district court. Now, if the petitions are presented to different district courts, then the petition which is presented latter, that is the petition of wife in the example that I gave, shall be transferred to the district court in which the earlier petition, that is the petition of husband for divorce, was presented, and both these petitions they shall be heard and disposed of together, that is the petition for divorce by the husband and the petition for judicial separation by wife. These two petitions will be heard and disposed of together by the district court in which the earlier petition was presented. So that is to say, if I am to extend the example that I gave, then it would mean that the district court A, where the husband instituted the suit for divorce, so that district court will have the jurisdiction to try both these petitions. Now, subsection 3 of the section provides that in a case where clause B of subsection 2 applies, the court or the government competent under CPC to transfer any suit or proceedings from district court in which the latter petition has been presented to the district court in which the earlier petition is pending shall exercise its power of transfer or power to transfer such latter petition as if it had been empowered to do so under the said code. Now, having understood it, let's get back to the issue of law. So, the issue of law was that whether the power of transfer, which is provided for under this section, it can be invoked when subsequent petition is for restitution of conjugal rights. Now, let's proceed and understand the issue of law. So, the petitioner, both the petitioner and the respondent, the wife and the husband, they were married in the year 2015, and however, due to disputes between them, they started living separately in January 2009, and their marriage it was solemnized in Delhi. Now, the husband filed for divorce in May 2019 in Pune, and the wife was sent a notice of the same. After receipt of the notice by the wife, the wife, she filed a transfer petition in July, and she sought transfer of the divorce petition which was filed before family court at Pune to family court at Saket, New Delhi. So she wanted the transfer to be made from Pune to Delhi. Thereafter, after having filed the transfer petition, the wife also filed a petition for restitution of conjugal rights under Section 9 of the Hindu Marriage Act, and the husband, he was given a notice of such a petition, and after getting the notice of the same, the husband also filed a transfer petition before the Supreme Court seeking the transfer from Delhi to Pune. Now let's understand this. So therefore, it is clear before us that there were two petitions which sought transfer before the Supreme Court. The petition number one, it was by the wife, and she sought transfer of the husband's divorce petition, which was filed at Family Court Pune, and the second petition was by husband, which sought transfer of petition for restitution of conjugal rights, which was filed by wife at Family Court Saket, New Delhi. So husband wanted the transfer from Delhi to Pune, while the wife wanted transfer from Pune to Delhi. Now let's understand and proceed with the cases of both the parties. So let's first get started with the arguments advanced by the counsel for the wife. So the wife stated that she does not have any independent source of income, neither was she provided any maintenance of any sort by the husband, and hence she was maintaining herself out of the money of her parents. And therefore, she sought the transfer so that the divorce petition filed by the husband and also the petition for restitution of conjugal rights, they can be tried together. Now let's proceed and understand the case advanced by the counsel for the husband. So the husband stated that his divorce petition, it was filed first in point of time, and the wife's petition was subsequently filed, and therefore it was filed later in point of time, and it needed to be dismissed in view of Section 21 capital A subsection 2 clause B of the Hindu Marriage Act, which provided that when both these petitions are not before the same district court, then what is to be done? So it has to be transferred to the court in which the prior application or petition was preferred. So, advancing the same contention, it was contended that under Section 21, capital A, subsection 2, clause B, petition filed later in point of time should be transferred to court in which petition under the Act has been filed prior in point of time. And also, the husband contended that he would like to agree to pay the wife's travel expenses from Delhi to Pune. And he also contended that he had aged parents who had medical conditions and they had undergone surgeries, and therefore it'll be impossible for him to travel from Pune to Delhi to attend the court proceedings. Now let's proceed and understand the reasoning and decision of the court. So the court stated that the wife's claim with respect to non-availability of either independent source of income and also for non-availability of maintenance, it is not disputed by the husband, and the husband claimed that no inconvenience will be caused to the wife if she attends proceedings in Pune. But he did not dispute the fact that she did not have any independent source of income and she was living off the family money. And then the court stated, or the court dwelled into the contention of the husband, which was advanced with respect to Section 21, capital A, subsection 2, clause B. And the court noted that this contention, it is misconceived. And why was it misconceived? Because subsection 1 of Section 21, capital A, it deals with a situation where one party to marriage filed petition either under Section 10, which is for judicial separation, or under Section 13, which is for divorce, before a district court. Thereafter, other district court, which was in Pune, and there in the present case. And thereafter, other party files petition either under Section 10 or Section 13 before the same or different district court, either in the same state or in different state. Now, if these conditions are present, then only the procedure which is laid down under subsection 2 of this section is followed and not otherwise. So the court came to the conclusion that on a combined reading of these provisions, it would come to the forefront that the procedure which is prescribed by subsection 2 applies only to situations which are covered by subsection 1, and subsection 2 has no independent existence. And further, the court noted that the husband's petition, it was filed first in point of time, and it was a petition for divorce, and hence his case may fit into clause A of subsection 1, but the wife's petition, which was filed later in point of time, it was for a restitution of conjugal right, which was essentially a petition under section 9 and not under section 10 or section 13. Thus, the wife's petition, though subsequent in point of time, does not fall under clause B of subsection 1. As a consequence, subsection 1 of section 21 capital A has no application in the present case, as preconditions laid down under this subsection they are not satisfied. And then the court also dwelled on the aspect of power of transfer granted to the court under section 25 subsection 1 of the CPC, and the court noted that in any case the section 21 capital A of the Hindu Marriage Act, it does not divest this court of the powers which are available with it under section 25 subsection 1 of the CPC. So now let's first understand the powers available with the court there. So section 25 of the CPC states power of Supreme Court to transfer suits, etc. Subsection 1 is on the application of a party and after notice to the parties and after hearing such of them as desire to be heard, the Supreme Court may at any stage, if satisfied that an order under this section is expedient for the ends of justice, direct that any suit, appeal, or other proceeding be transferred from one high court or from other civil court in one state to other high court or to other civil court in another state. Then the court reiterated the law which was laid down in one of the earlier decisions of the Supreme Court in the case of Guda Vijay Lakshmi versus Guda Ramchandra Shekhar Sastri. In this particular case, the Supreme Court rejected the contention that substantive provision contained in Section 25 of the CPC is excluded by reason of Section 21 of the Hindu Marriage Act. The words subject to other proceedings contained in this section appearing in Section 21 were construed in the following manner: A being that to indicate only those proceedings or provisions which are inconsistent with any of the provisions of the Act, and the only test which is prescribed under Section 25 subsection 1 of CPC is, or for the exercise of power of transfer by the Supreme Court, it is the expediency of the ends of justice. And hence, the court came to the conclusion that the husband's argument centering around Section 21, capital A, subsection 2, and clause B, it cannot be considered, and the offer which was made by the husband to meet wife's travel expenses, they did not find any appeal before the court. And thus, the court held that the wife's transfer petition be allowed and the divorce petition filed by the husband, it be transferred from the family court at Pune, Maharashtra to the court of Principal Judge Family Court, Saket, New Delhi. And the court also directed that the divorce petition be tried together with the wife's petition under Section 9 for restitution of conjugal rights. That's all we have for this note. At the end of it, you may find a list of abbreviations which we've used in the note. And if I am to conclude, then I'd say that the issue of law which was raised in this particular case, it was answered in negative by the court. That is to say, the powers of transfer under Section 21, capital A of the Hindu Marriage Act, they cannot be invoked when subsequent petition is for restitution of conjugal rights, because the power of transfer available under subsection 2, it is subjected to the provisions provided under subsection 1, and subsection 1 specifically mentions two proceedings, one being proceeding under section 10, which is for judicial separation, and the other being under section 13, which is for divorce and not otherwise. However, the power of the Supreme Court to transfer such a petition, such a proceeding from one high court to another, or from one district court in one state to another district court or to another high court, this is provided for under section 25. So that power can very well be exercised by the court, keeping in mind the consideration of expedient access to justice or disposal of the case. So that's all we have for this. Thank you very much.